Hey, in this video, I'm going to share with you how to find the ideal virtual assistant that's going to help you launch and grow your business. Now, I personally believe that if you are in business, no matter how big or how small, even if you're just one person, that you should have a personal assistant. And I'm going to show you a very affordable, cost-efficient, cost-effective, and absolutely stress reliever solution to have in your business. Now, the first place I'm going to show you this very simple way is Upwork.com. If you haven't heard about it yet, I highly recommend you get a free profile and you can do that. And I'm going to go over some details with you on how to find a great real estate virtual assistant to help you grow your real estate business. Now, I want to let you know that I have hired many real estate and personal assistants over the years. I actually had to go through 6 personal assistants to get to my one ideal assistant who was with me for 4 years, and then just a few weeks ago I had to let her go. It was really sad. We were really close, and she knew my whole life and business, really, that everything that went on, but things just weren't working out in her life, and she was kind of taking a new direction. But with all that experience behind me, and I was to quickly find another great assistant that's helped me move things along very well, kind of picked right up where it left off. Now, that's not always easy, and it does take time to find a really good one. Sometimes you have to go through 1, 2, or 3 to find a really good person, just like any business would. I want to show you a really fast and effective way to do that. So let's dive right into Upwork.com. Now, I know there's many other resources out there. There's third-party companies. There's agencies out there. There's many different options that you can take, but right now I'm going to show you about Upwork.com and how to find a good real estate assistant. All right, so here we are at the main dashboard of finding freelancers. Okay, so you're going to go to freelancers, tap find freelancers, and then the first thing I'm going to have you do is unselect the US only. Okay, that's the first thing you're going to do. Then what I want you to do is type in let me do that backwards. Real estate assistant, okay? And you're going to see there's a few here: real estate investing, real estate virtual assistant. Now I'm going to jump to real estate virtual assistant. I find this one tends to pull up a lot more typically what we're looking for, but this actually will vary along the way. Okay. Now, I want you to just hit filters here, and I'm going to show you what you should select to find the best qualified people. All right. So first, English level, you can leave it any. If it really matters to you, then you probably want to go to fluent or at least conversational. Okay. Next thing I look for is earned amount. Okay. The thing I do with that is I go to 10K plus. Why do I do that? I want to make sure that they've earned at least $10,000 on Upwork.com. Okay, that's the first and foremost. Then the job success, I want at least 90% and above. That's what I look for. Then hourly rate, I like to keep it $10 and below. Hours billed, I like to make sure they've done over 1,000 hours of work on Upwork.com. Then last activity, I like to find something within the last 2 weeks. I don't really like to find things that they've done like weeks and weeks ago, months ago. I like to find something that they're currently active and working. Then freelancer type, for now, I'm just going to leave it any freelancer. Normally what I like to do is I like to find independent freelancers. I really don't work with agencies so much. That's just my personal preference. Then under category, you can select different categories if you want them to do specific things, and there's many other categories there. I'm just going to leave this. Actually, you know what? Let me just. You see all the different options there. I'm going to leave it at any because I want it to really pull these filters that I just set up. And then you can have, if you want them to have specific tests and other languages. There's also one other thing too here. If you're looking for someone specifically in a certain area, for example, like the Philippines tends to have really good, great people, but I'm not gonna. You can select that, but I'm not going to select it right now. Okay. So I'm leaving it on any location. All right, so now the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to fold this up. And what just happened? Okay, there we go. All right, so there we have our filters in place, and I'm going to just start off with the top here. We have Leah, who's at 20,000 earned, and it shows how many hours she's worked, her 2 fixed price jobs and 8 hourly jobs right now, and she's got 100% success rate, so that's really good. Then I can just continue down here, and I want to really just show you what I focus on. So the first thing I like to look for is someone who's made over 50,000. If it's a little bit less, like Hassan here, I'm down here and I'm gonna look for example, Anchor. Anchor has made over $80,000 on Upwork, and I want to dive into him and show you a little bit more in detail about his profile. Now, the first thing I want to draw your attention to is the $6.25 hourly rate. Okay, that's their stated hourly rate. Does that mean you have to pay them $6.25? No, that actually is negotiable, and I will show you an example of that. Okay, next thing is $80,000 plus earned, done 180 jobs, and he's worked over 18,000 hours in real estate. Now, think about that. 18,000 hours. Have you done even 1,000 hours? 5,000 hours, 10,000 hours. This guy's done a whole lot of hours, okay? Now, it shows a little bit of, in his profile exactly what he's done. Real estate is his niche and passion. He's an expert at getting rental houses, leads, knowledge, proper wholesaling real estate, great skills in those areas. And these are some of the sites that he's worked on, right? Some of the sites he's familiar with. Also, some of the softwares. He also specializes in rental apartments in Boston and Chicago, right? So you can actually see what some people have done, but this guy's got a lot of experience. Now, the next thing I want to show you is specifically what he's currently working on. As you can see here, he's got a job in progress in that area. And then there probably is a few others that are in progress. And here's 49 more. And I'm going to draw your attention. Here's another one, job in progress, job in progress. What I want to draw your attention to and what I really look for, I immediately look for dollars, okay? So I start looking at where he's made a lot of money. Right here, he's made about $6,000, got awesome reviews, real estate virtual assistant, and he did really, really well at that. Now, another one I look for is another high-end one. He's done a lot of projects here, but again, I look for the ones that have a little bit more money into it. He's already got 2,000 coming up in this one, and notice here how he's only making $4.56 an hour. Remember I showed you at the top how his stated hourly rate is $6.25. Look at this: $5.60, $6.25, $4.44, $4.75. All the rates are negotiable. I just want to let you know that right from the top. And he's got a whole bunch more jobs that we can see here. And again, I'm really looking for the big ones. Here's some advertising in Boston that he's working on. He's getting paid $4.44 for that per hour, and we can go on and on with these numbers. Okay, another $4,000 here, personal assistant, you know, and so on and so forth. But you can also see the reviews, like he's done a great job, and so many like 5 stars, and that's really, really good. Now, below all this is a portfolio. The portfolio shows you like what some of the work they've done. As you can see here, it looks like Craigslist, more Craigslist, virtual assistant. He's done a lot of Craigslist stuff, which is great. Here are some of his skill sets, such as data entry, internet marketing, Microsoft Word, Google Spreadsheets. So he's familiar with some of those things. And then here are the tests. Now, me personally, I don't pay a whole lot of attention to this unless there's something you're specifically looking for. If there's something specific you're looking for, then yes, you'd want to pay attention to this. But you know, I know Anchor for a number of years. He's really good at what he does, and unfortunately, you know, he's below average on a lot of his tests. You know, hey, you know what? In school, I wasn't that great either in tests, but let me tell you, I could build a heck of a real estate business. So just be mindful of that. So, and if you really care about education and everything, you know, the beautiful thing about these types of work and hiring freelancers is you're not hiring people so much for their education or, you know, how many degrees they have in what area. You're really focusing on, you know, can they get the job done? Can they do it effectively and efficiently? And will they make it happen for your business? So that's what's really important. Now, there's a lot of other virtual people on here. Here's another one, Thomas, at over 60,000 earned, and you can do the same thing. And look, there's many, many more. And these people are from all over the world. All right, so the next thing I want to show you is how you can save a virtual assistant, because as you go through maybe 2, 3, or 5 of them, it really helps if you save a bunch of them and then you kind of narrow it down to maybe 1 or 2 or 3. So I want to show you how to do that right now, and you can easily do that by, on the right side of the panel, you just hit save, and then you add notes. What I'd recommend for this part is adding a note, and the reason why you want to add the note is because there's going to be something particular that you really like about this assistant. So add that note in there, what you really like about them. It really helps for later, trust me. The next thing is where it says post job or hire freelancer. Okay, I want to tell you the difference between the two. Posting a job is asking them if they want to come to the job that you've already created. Now, under this tab, posting a job is if you want to put it out there. It's like, imagine you just posted an ad to hire people and they are all going to respond to your ad. Okay, that's posting a job. What I just showed you was hiring people specifically. It's more like headhunting. What I just showed you by adding all these filters and everything is like headhunting for someone very specifically, looking for their skill set, the hours they've worked, the money they've made, their success rate. That's headhunting. Now, posting a job is kind of like putting it out there and see who responds back and then going through all the resumes. Now, I personally don't really like that. I only do that very rarely. I like to headhunt. I think you're going to get a lot better response that way. Now, if you want to hire someone directly, all you have to do is click Hire Freelancer. Now, I'm going to see if I can go through this process with you just for a minute here. All right, so I want to show you in this process here, if you hire someone directly, it's going to take you to this screen right here. And this is where you give it a title. Maybe you want to, real estate virtual assistant. You can add that there. But I want to bring your attention to something that's very specific and very important, and that's the terms of the agreement. Okay, first of all, like I said, an hourly rate may be $10 an hour. That's what they're looking to make an hour. That doesn't mean you have to agree with that. You can actually submit what you're willing to pay, what's in your budget, and submit it out there. Now, the next thing you're going to select is how many hours a week do you want them to work. Do you want no limit, or other, or how many hours a week? Now, in my recommendation, I would start off someone small, anywhere between 5 and 10 hours a week. That way you can see how they work with your company and how they work with you and your style, and start off small, either 5 to 10 hours a week, and then you can scale it up from there. Now, here's one thing I highly recommend that you uncheck. It automatically comes checked, and I want you to uncheck that, because what you don't want is for example, if your assistant ends up putting in the whole 10 hours but then wants to work an extra 5, they can actually log in that time manually. Okay, that means they can dictate how many extra hours they worked, and I don't recommend that in the beginning. Now, you can do that in the future if you wanted to. If you had like an assistant that you really feel comfortable with, then you can do that. But I don't recommend that up front, okay? Other advanced options is you can have them start at a specific date, or if you want to give them an additional weekly payment, you can do that as well, almost like a weekly bonus. Here's where you're going to add the description of the job. You literally can copy and paste this from other resources that you may have, or something specific you're looking for. You're going to yes and agree, and then hire the person, okay? That's really how simple it is. Okay, so what I want to show you here under reports is this part that's very important, and I want to tell you something that your virtual assistant needs to have, and you should require them to use on their side, and that is time tracking. Time tracking is a software that downloads on their computer, and they turn it on whenever they start working on your project. And what this does, it time tracks what they're working on. And here's how you have the opportunity to check out on your side what they've worked on. It automatically takes screenshots of their computer without them knowing when it's going to take a screenshot. So typically it takes it around every 10 minutes, but it ranges. It could be 8 minutes, sometimes it's 12 minutes, and they don't know when it's happening. And this way you can kind of track what they're doing. So this is under work diary, and then when you're inside the work diary, you can actually see what they're working on. You can see how much their mouse is moving based on activity. You can see how much time they're clicking on the keyboard, and it will also show you a screenshot as well of what they're currently working on. You can do that just by clicking there, and I'm not sure, it's supposed to show a screenshot here, but it's not right now. I'm not sure why. But that's literally what you're looking at. You'll see the exact screen of what they're seeing along the process. Now, if you're wondering what these green bars are and why they're different, this is activity, screen activity. If you see a very low screen activity, okay, this shows you activity levels 3. So if they're constantly having a very low activity rate, then that is a problem. They're probably not working on your tasks as much, but yet you're still getting charged for the time. If you're seeing high activity, that means they are doing it. There's a lot of clicking, there's a lot of keyboarding, there's a lot of stuff going on. So this can vary from moment to moment. However, I wanted to show your attention to something, that if you see a lot of gray and not a lot of green, that means you probably have a virtual assistant that is taking advantage of you. So what you can do is you can edit the activities, and there's a lot you can do here. You can actually, I'm sorry, it's not edit activities, but you can actually take this and you can give feedback on that time frame. You can request a refund. You can actually you can just simply message them and say, hey, I've noticed you have a lot of off time, or you're not spending a solid amount of time on each project or each screen based on the time tracker. What's going on? Is there something we need to do? Is there something we need to change? Can we make it better? And you can communicate all that right inside. And you can communicate that all right inside of the Upwork software. Now, I get this question asked of me a lot, and that is, do I always communicate inside of Upwork, or do I use other means? Now, personally, I like to keep everything in Upwork, but I also like to use other apps like Telegram or WhatsApp to communicate with my assistants. That way I can, it's ease of use. If they have a quick question, we go right that way. And we also communicate through email as well. So that is virtual assistants in Upwork.com. You can start using that right away. And if you have any questions or comments, put it in the comments below. And I'll see you on the next video.